Hi, I am having a bit of a rough day, a rough few months actually, going through a little bit of a hard time, and it's not over yet, and there's gonna be hard times ahead, and I will talk about it in another video, I think, once it's all said and done. But I'm kind of going through it, to be honest. And I know that you guys are probably also going through some sort of stress in your life as well. But I kind of just wanted to talk through everything to not only remind myself how to get through this stress, but to hopefully help you guys get through whatever stress you're going through and remind you of some things that we might just forget to remind ourselves or forget to do when we're deep in stress. Hopefully these tips will help you get through stress quicker or easier. And it's no surprise with the news being so easily accessible, stress is super common right now. And sometimes when you are very overwhelmed and deep in that stress and anxiety, it's easy to forget the little things that can help. So let's get into our first tip and start feeling better together. Firstly, I want to talk about if you're not going through something specific right now, but want to avoid stress, or you have had stress in the past and don't want to have it again, or want it to be super easy to manage next time, I'm going to give you some tips, okay, that we can do to prevent or lessen the effects of stress in our life. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is time away from your phone and social media. I know, we've all heard it. I know that this is kind of also a tough one because sometimes we use our phones and social media as an escape to kind of cope with some of the stress that we're handling and we're dealing with, or the things that we're going through. However, I also feel it adds a significant amount of stress to your life that you don't need. So yes, I think you can use it as a distraction at some point, but also don't forget to put it down and focus on bettering yourself and actually taking action to get through tough times rather than just pushing it aside and trying to avoid even thinking about it. Give yourself and your eyes breaks from the screen sometimes. Oh my gosh. It being so easy to compare yourselves to people's perfect looking lives online does add to our stress. I mean, it does. It just makes us compare ourselves to them, and then we feel lesser than because we don't see them going through super big stressful situations, or we don't see 100% of their lives and know what they're going through. So it's easy to compare yourself to them because they do share online most of their lives, but just don't forget that you're not the only person in the world feeling stress. Every single person in the world feels stress at some point. So it's important to just keep that in mind, that take breaks from social media. It does help your mental health, not to be doom scrolling all day and looking at negative news or seeing somebody that looks like their life is completely together when chances are it's not. They're just showing you the best parts of their lives. So take a break from screens. That's the first tip. Speaking of phones, curate your social media. If you're going to be on your phone, don't be following people that make you feel disgusting about yourself. Don't be following people that are constantly just talking about negative things in the world. Ask yourself if you're following people that are improving your mental health. I do think that social media can be really great to feel seen, to see that somebody else is going through similar situations than you, to see that everybody else is just a real person going through life, trying to get it all figured out, and nobody has it figured out. But just ask yourself, are the people that you're following improving or negatively impacting your life? If it's negatively impacting your life, delete them, block them, and just fill your social media feed with things that inspire you, that keep you happy. So whenever you are on your phone, it's not sad and debilitating the things that you're seeing. Okay, this tip is perfect for right now. Get outside. Oh my gosh, do we not appreciate the world as much as we should? This world is so beautiful. I used to think that you have to travel really far, like Switzerland, to see beautiful scenery, but it's truly all over. I am in this national park, just sitting on a bench, listening to geese and seeing birds, and there's no leaves on the trees, and it's still beautiful. It is so beautiful to feel the crisp air, to sit by the water, to just listen to the nature. Get outside. It's great for your mental health. I don't even have to explain that one. I'm sure you already know it. Get outside more. Next tip, find a hobby. Replace your phone screen time with doing something off of your phone in some sort of creative manner. This will help you just, again, get off your phone, which helps your mental health, but also it'll help you feel proud of yourself. You learn something new, you feel smart. I don't know about you, but I feel dumb as rocks lately. I don't go to school anymore, so I'm not constantly learning new things every single day. So finding a hobby like crocheting, coloring, reading, music, gaming, just some sort of healthy outlet for you to turn to that isn't just straight to doom scrolling. You know what I mean? And it's just something to calm your mind. You can turn your brain off, especially if you're like just coloring or something. You can just turn your brain off and focus on, making something beautiful and being creative. I feel like that really helps me when I am feeling down. It just helps me find some sort of calm in a crazy situation or a situation that's stressful. This is another obvious one, but get into a healthy routine. Get enough sleep at night. Eat healthier. Exercise. It's all gonna just work in your body to make your mind more clear and feel better whenever you're taking care of yourself and you're healthy. It just makes your mind healthier. It's just facts. Keep your space clean. I find sometimes whenever I am getting stressed, or sometimes my stress is enhanced when I have the laundry all over the place, there's dirty dishes in the sink, I haven't cleaned up anything. It's just a way to lessen your stress by having a clean space, so it's just one less thing to worry about when you're going through a tough time. So that was all things on how to kind of avoid stress in the future or limit the stress that you feel in the future. Let's go ahead to our next location and our next set of tips to kind of help you get through stress when you're in it already. I realized why it's so stinky over here. I just sat in geese shit. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna be talking about is just basic tips when you're already through the stress, okay? Know your season. No, I'm not talking about summer, winter, fall, spring. Some seasons are for healing, some seasons are for resting, and some seasons are for hard work. So know which season you're in. Is this a season of trials, where it's a season of learning? And that will just help sort out, okay, this is just a season that I'm going through. This isn't permanent. There will be other seasons. Communicate. Talk through what you're feeling with a friend, a family member, or a therapist if needed. You can pray, whatever you want to do. Just talk through your feelings with somebody so it's not just all bottled up. And it just, sometimes just saying out loud, I'm feeling stressed because of this, helps a lot. Slow down. It's okay to feel really heavy, deep feelings, but take some time to slow down, meditate, journal, pray. This kind of goes with the last one. Whatever you need to do to slow down and process kind of what you're going through. This is a fun one. Take time for yourself. Get a bath, have a massage, relax. Whatever you need to do to just calm down, again, slow down, and just take some time for yourself. Give yourself grace. Everybody goes through stress. Everybody goes through hard times. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Give yourself grace. Nobody's perfect. It's okay to mess up. Just learn from this experience and see how we can move forward with positivity and new life and grace. We have to create new paths. I heard this analogy the other day, so I'm stealing it. If you're walking through beautiful green grass, okay, you're making a path in it. And if you keep taking that path, the grass there is gonna die. It's gonna literally make a path. Right now, the way that we handle situations, I usually get stressed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna panic. I'm going to, distract myself with my phone. I'm gonna go deeper into that stress. Now I'm comparing myself to other people, and it's just a path that I've created for myself. It's a routine for me to deal with stress this way. That way's not working. That way's not good. It's not healthy. What we need to do is create a different path. If we start, okay, this time I'm starting to get stressed about this situation, instead of taking this path that I'm normally taking, I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm gonna think through what I'm going through. I'm gonna talk it through with somebody. I'm gonna see what I can do to lessen the stress. I'm going to give myself grace. We start making this new path, and if we catch ourselves quick enough whenever we're stressed and we say, you know what, I'm gonna do it this way instead, then we're slowly making a new path, and this old path is gonna grow over. It's not gonna be a path anymore. And now we've made a better, healthier routine. That's what we need to do when we're handling our stress if it's something that's been debilitating for us. So make your new path. I can't sit like this any longer. My legs are asleep and my knees are covered in geese poop. Let's get up, move locations, and go over when you find yourself panicking. There's a ladybug on me. That's good luck. Okay, the last thing I'm going to go over is tips when you're panicking. Sometimes the stress gets so much that we start overthinking, we start having an anxiety attack, literally. So first, I'm just gonna say some blanket statements, okay? So whenever you're panicking, just to kind of get you away from that, worrying has never done anything for good. Worrying has never paid a bill. It's never solved any problems. Worrying has never healed someone. Worrying has never increased your peace. That's why it's so important not to just That's why it's so important not to just start worrying about things before we think them through first. You cannot live a positive life with a negative mindset. So, some tips to get you through when you're panicking. Here's what we're gonna do. My grandmother would always say, whenever you're done crying, go splash your face with cold water. That's what we're gonna do. We're worrying, we're panicking, we're gonna take a step back for a second, we're gonna find the nearest sink and just splash some cold water on our face, cool us down for a second. Then we're gonna take a deep breath, a few if you need it, and we're gonna ground ourselves. Okay, let's take our mind off of what we're stressing out about, what we're panicking about, and acknowledge your surroundings. Okay, what do you see around you? What do you smell around you? What can you hear? All these millions of cars driving by right when I'm filming. We're gonna bring ourselves back to the present moment and where we are. We're here, we're safe. Once we've relaxed for a second, we're gonna move to a more quieter space. I've moved to a quieter place, although somebody is mowing their yard. Hopefully it's a calming noise and not an annoying one. So now that we've calmed down a little bit, we took some time, we splashed some water on our face, we took a deep breath. Now we're gonna continue that calm by saying a prayer. You can talk through our emotions, our feelings, pray for things with God. If you're not religious, you can journal, get all your feelings out, write it all out, think on it a little bit. Or we could just meditate, continue that calm, do a guided meditation, just get some positivity in our world. Then we're gonna move on to the harder part, whether it's right away, whether it's a few hours from calming down, whether it's a few days later. We're gonna think about why we're stressed. Sometimes it's hard to take time to focus on the stress rather than avoiding it, but I think ultimately it helps us in the long run with dealing with the stress, getting over it, so it's not just being thought about in the back of our heads. But I also think working and thinking through the stress rather than avoiding it can help us to build up a healthier routine for when stress comes up again. Facing it head on, thinking it through, and then working through whatever happens in the situation. So, for example, we're gonna stop and we're gonna think, okay, why am I stressed right now? We're gonna identify why we're feeling this overwhelming feeling of worry or fear or whatever it may be. I'm gonna use 2 examples today just to give you a little idea. One situation could be that you're tight on money right now and you're stressed about your finances and that you're not going to be able to pay this upcoming bill. Another situation could be you messed up something at work and you're scared you're going to get fired. So let's walk through these situations. We have identified why we're stressed. We might not have enough money to pay this bill, or we did something wrong at work and now we're scared we're going to get fired. Next, we're going to think about what is the worst that can happen. For our finances, we miss paying this bill. Now we have late fees that we might have to pay for when we already can't pay for the bill itself, and maybe we're scared we're going to get kicked out of our house if it's a rent payment, or who knows what it could be. That's why we're scared. That's the worst that could happen, is we can't pay this and consequences come after that. For the job situation, we're scared that this mistake that we've made is going to be the end of the line for our job, and they're going to call us into the office and they're going to say, okay, we're going to let you go. That's what's stressing us out, and that's the worst that we think might happen. Now, instead of just focusing on that fear and living in that fear, we're gonna make a plan. So what if this worst thing happens? So if our finances, if we can't pay this bill, maybe we need to ask somebody for help. Maybe we need to get a loan or see what our options are there. Let's make a plan for what we can do if that worst thing happens. If we lose our job, maybe right now I'm gonna start setting up my resume, making sure it's ready in case I need to look for something else. I'm going to start looking on Indeed, seeing what jobs I can apply for if I lose my job. Then the last thing we're gonna do is figure out, can I avoid that worst thing from happening? For our finance situation, can I set up a budgeting plan? Can I save money in some places this week so that I can pay this bill? Can I sell something in my house that I don't use anymore that I can get some extra cash for? How can I avoid the worst from happening? At my job, can I just come talk to them face on and just say, hey, I'm sorry I messed up. I took note of what the mistake was so it won't happen again. Come up with some sort of script or whatever you want to say. Take down some notes of what you want to say to them to help them give you another chance in this mistake. We've now identified why we're stressed. We've now thought about what's the worst that can happen. We've thought about what we can do if the worst happens. And we've also thought about a plan to set us up for success so that the worst does not happen. Now we've kind of thought through this whole situation of why we're stressed, and we can hopefully have a little bit more peace and calm on getting through this stressful situation. Next thing we can do is we can ask for help. It is is so hard sometimes to ask somebody for help or to tell them when we're in an overwhelming or stressful situation. We don't want to seem weak. We want to seem strong. We don't want to have to burden anybody else to help us. But sometimes when we're in an overwhelming situation, community is key in helping us get through these tough times. So maybe it's talking to a family member. Maybe it's just venting to a friend. Maybe it's going to a therapist if that's what you need, or talking to your doctor about getting medication to help you through these situations if it's a chronic stress disorder or whatever. Getting help is not weakness. It's strength and self-love and taking care of yourself and making sure that you are living a happy, joyful life no matter what comes into your life. And who knows, maybe somebody that we talk to can have another idea for how you get through this stressful situation. Maybe they have the means to help you financially through this situation. So I think it's always helpful to discuss with somebody that you trust and rely to help you through this situation. The last thing we're gonna do when we're panicking is think about all the things that are good in our lives. And I know that this is hard, especially when you're feeling like it's the end of the world, whatever situation you're going through. But think on all the things that you are thankful for and all the blessings that you have in your life. I woke up this morning. I have a car to drive to where I need to go. I ate breakfast. I have running water. I have clothes to wear. Anything that you can think of to be thankful for, think of that, and it'll be a lot harder to meditate on the bad things that are going on in our lives. So I hope this video helped you in some type of way. Remember that everybody goes through stress, everyone. And letting fear and worry dictate your actions is limiting your life's potential and preventing you from finding joy. Trust that everything happens for a reason, everything's working for your good, and that there is a plan for you in this world. You've already made it through 100% of your stressful days, and you can make it through this one as well. The stress will not last forever. You are not alone, and you will get through it and find that joy again. Remember, if you're in a situation that you can't do anything to fix, you've already made a mistake, you can't do anything to remedy the situation, just remember, if it's out of your hands, it should be out of your mind. Whatever happens, happens. I believe that we can find healing in community, so if you have a tough situation that you're going through right now, feel free to leave it in the comments if you need some prayers, or if you just want to vent, or if you just want to say, I'm going through a tough time, and just leave it at that. Feel free to leave that in the comments. I'm always in the comments on my videos, so I will be responding to you. I hope this helped in some way. You will find joy again. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!